All right, I had some people ask me what my goals are for running this year. I guess I have a bunch. They sort of evolving as the year goes on. I abandoned a couple already, and then I added a couple more. Right now, I'm working on going after the King of the Mountain. The Allegheny Trail Runners has a little series going on. I think it's like 7 races. I can't remember if it's 7 or 8 throughout the year. Uh, so if you get the most points at the end of the series, you're the king of the mountain, the queen of the mountain, whatever it is. I'm going for that. I guess that's my main objective for the year is to be the king. I already won the Dirty Kiln, which is the first race of the series. This weekend, I'm going after the Quee on the Dam Ultra. See if I can't win that, get some more points for that to jump ahead of everybody else that might be trying. Then I'm going to do the other races obviously down the road, like Lost Turkey, the Rock Trail Race, uh, Rockin' the Knob, Roaring Run. Forget what the other one is. I think that's it. Either way, that's my main goal for the year is become king of the mountain. I wanted to do it a couple years ago. I missed it by a couple points. I think that's the year Lipsy beat me. If he would have, not shown up, I would have got it. Or if he would have had a bad race, or if I somehow pulled off a victory, I think I would have got him that year. So I didn't get that. And then last year, it just didn't work out with other races that I already had planned. I just couldn't, when it was announced, it was too late for me to switch my schedule around to go after it. So this year, that's my main goal. It's just one of those goals that I've been looking at for a couple years now. Just want to get that under my belt, get it out of the way, cross it off. Another thing is I want to stay injury free this year. Last year, up to like October, I was on like a year and a half where I had a inflamed Achilles tendon in my left ankle. It never went away, and I finally started getting some treatment back in like August of last year. It took me a couple months for it to go away. Now I'm running pretty good again. What I did is I was stomping my foot on the ground before a race so it would go numb and I wouldn't have to worry about it. Then I was fine, which probably hurt it more. And again, it took a year and a half for it to go away. Well, for me to actually get it fixed. So I'm trying to stay injury free this year, build my base a little bit. Uh, bank this year off of next year. I want to run more elevation this year than I did last year. I think I'm going to shoot for 250,000 feet of gain. I think I was around 220 last year, so I'm going to try to get like 250. I think I should be able to do it since I'm healthier now. I'm running like hill repeats every week, stuff like that. I'm going for a BQ, Boston qualifying time at Pittsburgh in the marathon, which is actually just 2 weeks away. So I'm running an ultra this weekend, and then the following weekend I'm running Pittsburgh for a Boston qualifying time. It's 9 days apart. I should be, unless something happens, I should be fine the way my training goes, the way I've been training. I think I'm shooting, my goal is a 250 or below marathon pace. Back in 2017, I ran a 258, which is actually my first ever marathon, and it was in Pitt, and it was a BQ, and I went the following year in 2018. So I'm trying to go back this year in Pittsburgh, get another BQ. I don't think I'm going to go back because I feel Boston's a little bit overrated, if not the most overrated race there is. It's really expensive. You're just paying for an experience. I'll get to that some other day, but so I'm trying for at least a 250 in Pittsburgh. Anything below that is a bonus. So if I hit like a 245, which would be outstanding, which I don't think I could do, even 250 is probably going to be out of my range. But I've done I got a PR now of 118 for half, and I've hit like 125 and below a couple times for half now. So if you double that, that's like 250. So that's what I'm banking off of. Even though I haven't really raced the marathon distance in probably like 3 years, 4 time. So it's actually going to be a good challenge to see if I can do it. And if my training has been paying off, I want to bike another 500 miles outside this year. I'm already at like 1,000 miles for the year, but that includes a trainer in my basement, biking indoors. So total, I guess I'm going to shoot for 2,000 miles biking total, or I might as well just go for 2022, run the bike the year. See if I can't do that with inside and out combined. I do want to run the year again, which is, if you don't know, running 1 mile per the year. So this is 2022. I'm going to run 2,022 miles for the year. So that's running the year. I know I had a lofty goal, which is completely out of the realm of possibility, but you never know what happens on race day. As I was shooting for World's End 50K to win it this year, everything would have to go perfectly in my favor. Some people would have to have bad races because the competition's really, really good, and I don't stand a chance against some of the people that signed up. But I figured if I train for it, I race hard, and I do good, and if I set that goal to win it, if I come up short, hey, at least I tried and put forth the effort to win it. That would be amazing if that happens. But again, I probably have like maybe a 5% chance just because of the field. It looks like it's a pretty good competitive year. I'm going to go back to Rugged Maniac. I think it's the end of July. I'd like to get top 3 again. If I can't push for that first spot, I've gotten top 3 a couple times now, but I never got that top spot. Just missed it by a couple seconds. It's always been a really close race. I just keep missing it by just not even 5 seconds. So this year I'm, seeing what I could do. If just to repeat top 3 would be amazing. But then to get the top spot would be, a really good achievement, something I've been shooting for. I haven't really been training for OCR right now. I've been more dealing with ultras and stuff like that. Another goal is to run a few different places this year. I've already done that. This being like, what is today? I think April 20th or whatever. I've run the Humdinger race, went out the Buck Ridge Burn, stuff like that. So there's 2 examples already that I've done in places that I've raced this year that I've never been to before. So I want to do that a few more times this year. The goal is to run 12 different places or race 12 different places, or a combination of this year. So like basically 1 a month, just to get out and explore a couple different places and, not do the same thing over and over again. Just to mix it up, get a different experience, and just race something different. If you don't race different races, it gets boring. So, different competition, stuff like that. Oh, let's see. So starting this weekend, I probably got a month and a half of complete, I'm going to call it a shit show, what's going to be happening. So I got the Quee this weekend, which is a 34-mile trail ultra, which I'm going for the win. I'm going to break the course record again. I had it a couple years ago, the first year of the race. I fell. I got hurt for a couple miles, and then until I picked my ego off the floor and just pushed through. I still won that year, but my time was probably half an hour off. The course record got taken last year. I want to reclaim that if I can. I really do think I can. I think the record's now like 4:55 or something like that. I felt the year that I ran it, if I didn't fall, I was on like a 4:30 pace. So I'm going to shoot for like a 4:30, 4:45 range. Really lower that down by at least 10 minutes if possible. Then the following week, which is May 1st, which is Pit Marathon. So I'm going for that 250 time range. Then I got the Lynn Run 50K the following week, which is like May 7th. So that's 3 weeks back to back, which have races at least a marathon distance. The Lynn Run's 50K is a trail race. It shouldn't be too difficult terrain-wise or hill-wise, but I'm not too familiar with the actual route that we're going to use for the race. So we'll see how that plays out. Then on the 14th, I'm just going to do a local 5K at the Lorraine hiking trails, which is just a 5K. should be a fun time. But the following day, I'm going to do the Parker Dam 25K. That race has been on my radar for a couple years now. I think it's, I don't know if it's the second or third year, but I know when I saw it open up a couple years ago, I really wanted to do it, but my schedule didn't work out. And with like COVID and stuff, it got pushed to the back burner. So I just want to go out there because I enjoy that park a little bit. Then the following weekend, I'm probably going to do the Elderton 5K. What is it, May 20th? Yeah, that sounds right. And then the 21st, I'm going to go to Oil Creek and do a 5-mile race at like 7 in the morning. And then like at 8:30, it's a half marathon. So I'm going to do 2 races back for 18 miles within like a 3-hour period. See what I can do there. Just something different to push myself. And again, I've never been up there to Oil Creek. So it's another place I'm going to explore, see what the park in that area has to offer. Then the following weekend, I'm going to do Path of the Flood, which would be May 28th. The 14-miler. I've done it last year. I was third. It was a new course last year. There was some good competition ahead of me. Just going to finish this year, see if I can't put down a faster time than I did last year, since I know the course a little bit. I know it was cold last year, so I'm thinking this year if it's a little warm, I can maybe throw down a better time. It's always a fun race. It's a good local race. If you've never heard of it or never did it, come check it out, May 28th. Then the 28th and 29th that evening, I'm going to go down to West Virginia and run a 5-man relay team that has like 1,000 feet of elevation and 2.5-mile loops. It's really going to be, it's a really fun race. It's a good time. I really enjoy it. But, after a couple weeks in a row of like really hard stuff, I'm probably going to get to the breaking point. So we'll see if I can hold up a little bit. Then the following weekend, you're going to be like, why are you going to do that 12-hour race in the Path of the Flood the same day? I'm actually probably going to do on the 29th. If I have some energy, I'm going to find a local 5K on the way home or something just to bang out one on the 29th. Just to keep my endurance up. You do little things like that to push your limits, because once you push your limits, then you level up. So then that only causes you to become better. So that's sort of my thinking. Maybe it's sort of my training. Maybe I'm a little crazy instead of resting. Then June 6th, I got World's End 50K, which I said is I'm going after the win. We'll see if my legs could even hold up by then. Never know what happens. Maybe I'll get injured, tweak something, whatnot. Let's hope not. I like to be 100%, see what I can do. World's End 50K was actually my first ultra. Oh, man, it might have been in 2017 as well. I know I won a free entry from Dirty Kiln. That's how I even got into it and even heard about it. So I haven't done the 50K since then. It had to be like 2017, 2018, because I've always done the 100K since then, but I'm dropping down to do the 50 this year. Then June 11th, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to go to Laurel Highlands hiking trail and do the 50K or not. I'm not doing a 70, but I might do the 50. I'm not really liking the price range for the 50K. I think it's like $155 for the 50K, which is really expensive, and I'm really sort of boycotting the race right now with everything that's going on, if you know what I'm talking about. So right there, that's a month and a half of races that could really kick my ass. Then the 18th, I haven't decided what I'm going to do. I might go to Bone Frog. I might go to Ohio and do Spartan Trifecta weekend, or I might just stay local and do the Ghost Town Trail Challenge. We'll see what happens. That's sort of up in the air how the next couple of weeks go. I don't want to sign up for something and, just completely be drained and might need a rest weekend. But this year, again, I'm trying to build my base a little bit, keep myself healthy, and prepare for next year. I don't really have too many other big things planned, except for maybe Rock the Knob at the end of the year, which is, late September? I think it's like September 16th. And then my other marathon I'm going to do the In First Bank Marathon this year. So if I miss my 250 mark in Pittsburgh, I'm going to go for it in First in November. I think that's the 6th or 7th, somewhere. It's whatever it is the first weekend in November. Hopefully the weather's good then. So those are like my two big fall races. And then if you want to throw in the Barber Beast of the Bay, I'm going to go after the top 3 spots on that. I know some people have been winning it yearly, and I've been told to go up and see if I can't run myself into the top 3 spots, because I don't know if I could do the obstacles proficiently enough to do it, but I think I was told my running could probably get me there, so we'll see about that. But there's really nothing too major in the fall, at least not yet. That always changes. And then my buddy Ben trying to get me to do Ironstone 100K in July 9th. But we'll see how the wheels are rolling around, like beginning of June. Because if they're falling off, there's no way I'm going to add another 100K yet, and just so I can keep building my base for next year. Because next year, I have some bigger plans. So everything this year is, I still want to try this year and do everything well, but I'm banking this year on the next year. So even the races that I just said I'm going to do, like my training is, I'm using one race to train for the next. So instead of doing speed work during the week or hills or whatnot, I'm using the race for my hill work and my speed work for the week. So then I could just take it easy during the rest of the week, still get my 50 miles in, because those are all obviously long distance races, 50 Ks marathon. So then I really only have to run like 20, 25 miles the rest of the week in those 6 days, which is usually what I shoot for. I shoot for 50 miles, and then I have one day of at least a 20 miler in for that week. So with all those big races, I really don't have to do much else per se. Just stay healthy, do some little biking here and there to keep the legs loose, stretched out, and whatnot. So to touch on next year, I'm going for the Blacklist, which is the 150K, World's End 100K, Eastern States 100, Black Forest 100K. Then you get put on the Blacklist. So that's probably my big goal for next year, is to get on the Blacklist. I also want to go back to Greenbrier 100. I failed that back in 2018. It was my first attempt at a 100-miler. I never ran over 30 miles prior to attempting that race. And I basically just shit the bed. There was a freak snowstorm that week. The temps were cold. Never having ran over 30 miles, I was in over my head. I had Boston Marathon, which was the year I ran in 2018, 2 weeks later, and I had an ankle injury. So I just ended up pulling out instead of trying to push through it and hurt myself more for the rest of that year. So I want to go back and redeem myself. I don't think I can get in next year, but the Georgia Death Race, because it's already sold out and there's like a wait list. But I do want to attempt that down the road. If I can get in next year, I would do it. Hopefully financially that would work, but even financially it might not work next year. I do want to do a 200-mile race at some point. I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to. That'll probably be like 3 years down the road, 2 years down the road. Get a couple more 100-milers out of my way first. Maybe throw a couple more in next year. Maybe shoot for 3 or 4 total. Do a rail trail one on top of the Eastern States. And then Greenbrier, just to get a mix up, to make my muscles work harder. Eventually, I want to write a book about like my running journey, because I was a fat kid in high school. I really didn't even get skinny until like 10th grade. And then I got fat again in college, which a lot of us put on that, whatever they call it, freshman 15. I might have put on a little more. I lost it again, but I was always looking for that edge, I guess you want to say, or a competitive thing that I was good at. I never really found it. I tried to play baseball in college. I was horrible. I don't even if you want to call it horrible, it was just non-existent. I went and, played softball locally a little bit, to feed that competitive edge. I wasn't that great at that. I even did some rec at the YMCA for basketball. I was horrible at that. But just running uh, somehow just caught my attention like 2015, and I just been doing it since. Not just competing against people, but competing against myself, pushing myself, seeing what my body's capable of doing. When I talk about winning races and stuff like that, it's not always about beating other people. It's more about beating myself, I guess. The win's nice because it's I guess vindication that my hard work pays off. What I'm doing is correct and whatnot. Plus, I mean, it does feed into my competitive nature, competing against people, not just a team, but we'll say like 100 people that show up for the race. Not to be a dick, but I like competing, and it's the one thing that I've found that I'm remotely good at. So I wanted to write a book, just about my journey and what I learned about running, because I'm self-taught. So whatever I've done running, I've been self-taught, and just the things I thought about along my journey so far, what I've learned, what works, what doesn't work. Because one of the goals that I do have is to win 200 races in my lifetime. I'm at like 140 some now. So I just feel like that 200 number is just will give me like a good story and like an epic circle or whatever they call, cusp. What, I don't know what the hell word they use in movies and like whatnot, but it'd be like a good ending to like the story, because I feel like if I can reach 200, I will be actually at the end of my running career where I'm on the downhill and I'm just not competing anymore. I'm just out there just seeing what I could do at a certain age, because I feel like I've only got like 2 or 3 more years of prime, at least that's what the experts say, left in me. So to win like 60 races in the next 2 years is probably going to be unheard of, but I'm at least going to try until the wheels fall off. So I think that might be a good story to tell, like what happens, starting really competitive running when I was like 32 years old, and then like see myself incline and then just completely fall off. I think it might be a good story that a lot of people don't talk about. They talk about more about how they risen from something, drastic, like something bad happening in their life. I guess you could say me being fat was that drastic moment, but just a rise and fall and just telling my story. I think that might be cool. I like to bullshit a lot, obviously, in this video. The last thing that I want to do in my running career down the road is something epic. I want to do something that nobody's ever done before or attempted. I have an idea right now what I want to do, but I can't really say yet because I'm still working out the details. I'm going to shoot for that for next year, so that's another reason why I'm building my base this year, to see if I can stay healthy and be able to attempt this next year or the year after, because there's some things that need to be completed first for me to attempt it. If not, then I'm just going to maybe chase some FKTs, fastest known times, in the next couple years to see what I can do. If they happen, they happen. If they don't, they don't. Other than that, I guess that's my goals for this year, my goals for the next couple years. Just getting out there and enjoying running, I guess what it comes down to, competing against people, and then watching people on their journeys as well. I do like that. Seeing people push themselves, how far they come, not even if they're just competing, just getting out there or rehabbing from an injury, just enjoying running with people, having a good time. The trail race atmosphere is so much fun. The stories people have to tell, I do enjoy that a lot as well. I do like to tell my own, obviously, but just seeing people out there, like even like when I'm race directing now, it's just so much fun watching how happy people are to just be out there having a good time. You know, whether they're competing or they're just out there just, just for supporting a good cause. Both sides are awesome. I really enjoy seeing people on both ends of the spectrum. I like helping people, giving people information, how they can be better, or, maybe try this, try that, stuff like that. So I do want to get into that a little bit more too. Uh, Helping people achieve their goals and whatnot. Since now I'm a certified Road Runners of America coach. So I'm going to start teaching people. So that's another aspect of, I guess you could call it my running career, what I'm going to do. Other than that, I guess that's about it. I've talked a lot, bullshitted a lot. So any questions or, comments, you just be like, oh, you ain't going to do it. You're an asshole, whatever. Go ahead, send them my way. I'll be fine. All right.